before we go, what is your favorite campaign?
All right, so favorite campaign, because this one was so close and like so exhilarating, I have to say it was the Patrick Kearney campaign for state rep this most recent cycle. I certainly learned a lot on Jim's campaign, but it was never a question of if Jim would win. It was, how much would he win by?
Right.
So the fact that the primary was decided by 128 votes, that meant that like every second you put into it counted, like every decision you made was very important. So when it's that close and you know that all the time that you put in was totally worth it and it's so exhilarating, I'd say that one's definitely top of the list for sure.
So it's like down to the wire.
Oh, yeah.
So you're running the race and you're at the finish line, and yes.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody who's thinking of getting involved with campaigns?
Try bringing friends along. It's really hard to volunteer if it's just you don't know anybody else. It's certainly a good way to meet people, but I mean...
I met my wife on a campaign.
Really?
Yeah, the Obama campaign.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, knocking doors in the summer heat is a lot more tolerable if you're with a friend. And I can say that from the beginning, when I first got involved, it made a huge difference in this last election cycle. A good friend of mine helped me on the doors a lot, and it just goes a long way. So if you have your friends with you, it's kind of like a group bonding activity too at one point. That was a big thing for us back in 2012, as all our friends were either at the end of high school, early college, and it was a chance to see each other regularly and just kind of it's hard work too, so you do kind of form a strong bond because of it, and just always having friends along just is so much better.
So what is the most rewarding part about working on campaigns?
Definitely election day when the results come in.
What was it? 7 months of hard work comes down to 1 hour?
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's both sad and, kind of interesting. But it's such a grind on so many days that election day is basically what you're building towards. So enjoy it as much as you can.
So, quick story about election day in Marshfield. So when I started getting involved, Deval Patrick first campaign, I was working with our not rep then, but soon to become rep, Jim Cantwell, and we went to the organizing meeting. And the organizers of the Deval Patrick campaign told us that Marshfield, all we had to do was get 45%. If we get 45%, then we'll win. And Jim, being from the area and being involved with top politics, was like, no, we're going to easily break 50%. So we start working on the campaign, and we go through the summer, and we have a conversation, and Jim's like, I don't know if we're going to break 30%. He's like, it's really bad out there. Yeah. So we come to election day, and we're at the polling location, and they read out the results the last hour. Basically, the polls close. You're waiting for them to tally everything up. Yeah. They come out with the tickets, and they tell us, Deval Patrick, 46%. And me and Jim start cheering and yelling and slapping. And the opposition, the Republicans who had won the town, were like, whoa, what just happened? And we're like, oh, you got to understand, Marshfield always goes Republican, but then Somerville, Worcester, New Bedford, Fall River, Boston will come in big. So in our region, we were able to keep it at 45%. We got 46. It was an awesome day. And then the following year, Barack Obama won Marshfield by 1 vote, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
So these close races are awesome. You also worked on the Warren campaign. You were running Jim's campaign that year, right?
Yes.
And Elizabeth Warren actually came to my house, and Chris Matthews, who I see was looking in, likes to point out that we tore down the porch that the future president of the United States stood on to give a introduction speech when she kicked off her campaign. So I say the reason you should get involved in campaigns is, first of all, the camaraderie. You meet people. It's really a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And then second of all, you actually make a difference. Yeah. Like you said, 1 vote, 2 votes, 100 votes, it really plays a huge deal. So I've been doing this for 20 years. I have stepped down from the Plymouth County Democratic League as the chair. Now I step down as the vice chair for SSDC. What I'm going to do is take all the stuff I've learned over the years, and Steve, I hope you help me with this, and put it into some coaching material. So I'm going to set up a bunch of interviews with smart people, and I see a few of them have tuned in, so they're going to get some phone calls from me. And we're going to have these interviews, and then I'm going to turn it into a podcast. If you are interested, go to bose3.com/subscribe, sign up for the email, and I'd love to bounce some of these ideas off you as far as what we're doing. And I just want to go over, we have Brian Muldoon next week, same time, and please RSVP to that. So, whoops, hold on. We're not 100% on the mark yet. This is John Bose. I'm going to be hosting this podcast, and
Steve Darcy.
I want to thank you for stopping by and spending a half hour with us, and we will catch you guys later.
You have been listening to the Bose 3 podcast. Show notes are available at bose3.com. Thank you for listening, and we will see you on the campaign trail.